Getting a Minn Kota trolling motor for my skiff, and here's why. All right, so like I said, I'm getting a Minn Kota trolling motor for my skiff instead of a Motorguide, and let me explain why. I'm going to break it down into 4 points for you, just so you know exactly the criteria I used to pick what I did. All right, so my 4 criteria are going to be the quality of the build, the value of the motor itself, the features it has, and finally, kind of the warranty and support that come with those motors. Now, I'm just going to go through each one of those categories and tell you how the Motorguide and the Minn Kota stacked up as I looked and researched to them. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer, I have had Minn Kotas before and I was happy with their service, but now that I'm looking at a different type of boat, I'm happy to look at Motorguides again with an open mind. And also another disclaimer, I'm a low-tech kind of person when it comes to boat equipment. The less that can go wrong, the better it is. So I'm not going to be looking at some of the higher priced ones like the Minn Kota Tarovas and things like that have the auto deploy, or even the new power pole, the Move ZR, because they're not just going to fit the way I fish. I like keeping it simple, and a Riptide like I'm going to show you, or the IX5 Motorguide are going to be the ones that I stick with. All right, so like I just said, what we're going to be looking at is a Minn Kota Riptide 55 with the 54-inch shaft, and also the Motorguide XI5 with the same size shaft and also 55 pounds thrust. So they're pretty similar, and there's pretty similar trolling motors, so it should be a good comparison. All right, so number one thing I want to say is Motorguide kind of gets some shade because people think that they're lesser trolling motors a lot of the times, but they're not. They're both well built, quality built, USA built products that really can stand up to salt water. So I don't think there's much of an edge to either trolling motor when it comes to, which one is the best built one. It's kind of like a Chevy versus Ford or Dodge versus GMC. You could go all day and argue back and forth. So as far as like quality of build, I think it's a draw. If you're a Minn Kota person, you're probably going to stay a Minn Kota person. If you're a Motorguide person, you're probably going to stay a Motorguide person. All right, so the next is the value comparison, and the common kind of thread is that Motorguide is normally a better price than the Minn Kota, but for whatever reason, Riptide compared to the XI5, the Riptide I'm looking at is a good $100 cheaper than the Minn Kota, or than the Motorguide XI5. So for me, the value is actually with Minn Kota. Since I'm going to be saving $100 for exactly what I want, the value aspect definitely goes to Minn Kota. Now, that's not with every motor, because if you go up and down the lineups of both of them, the Motorguide can be a little bit more priced a little bit better than the Minn Kota, but also the Minn Kota has some higher level features on some of their higher level lines of motors that the Motorguide just doesn't have. That kind of leads me into the next thing. As far as features, the Minn Kota wins. The Minn Kota has way more features than any of the Motorguides do, and probably the reason why you're even watching this video or considering a trolling motor is because you're interested in the E-anchor, and Motorguide calls it something different, but the Minn Kota calls it spot lock, and by far spot lock is the best when you're talking about Minn Kotas. Spot locks and Minn Kotas can keep you within 5 feet. The computer is really good about taking everything into account and keeping you in that spot, and there's not too much wobble back and forth. The Minn Kota I had before was great at it, and the Motorguides I have been on in the past were not as great at it, and they wobbled back and forth to get to that spot. So there was a lot of correction and overcorrection and undercorrection, and it just didn't really keep you in a spot. It just kept you in kind of a general area. So for me, a Minn Kota was keeping you within about 5 to 10 feet, and I felt like the Motorguide was closer to 15 to 20 feet. And that may not sound like a lot, and it may not be a lot for the type of fishing you're doing, but when you're fishing close to structure that you don't want to get close to, that 5-foot error can make a huge difference. So you're probably going to want to go with one like the Minn Kota that has a better spot lock feature. Okay, and the last one is support comparison. Very first thing you're going to want to look at is what kind of warranty each one of these motors have. Now, any Minn Kota, whether it's their Riptide all the way up to their Tarovas, they're going to have a 2-year warranty no matter what. And that's different for Motorguide, because Motorguide has different levels of warranties for their different motors. So if you're buying the the IX3, you're going to get a 1-year warranty, and some of those lower ones you're going to get a 1-year warranty. Now the Motorguide XI5 does have a 2-year warranty, so apples to apples is about the same, but overall Motorguides do have less of a warranty than Minn Kotas. Now the warranty is only as good as the service providers around it. So you want to make sure that you have service centers around you that can service Minn Kotas, that can make sure you're getting the service you need on your different trolling motors, whether it be Minn Kotas or whether it be the Motorguide. And for me, there's a Minn Kota servicer right by my house, so that's going to be a lot more convenient for me. And the times that I've dealt with Minn Kota on the phone, they've been great, sent parts overnight and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give the nod to the fact that I have a local service provider for Minn Kota right by. And every time I've called them on the phone, they've provided what I needed either from that to that service center or mailed to me directly. Now, I've heard the opposite from Motorguide. I've heard and read many articles and read many different and seen many videos to say that the Motorguide phone service is way more problematic. They won't send you out parts. There's less repair centers around. So for me, if something does break and I have a warranty, but I can't get anyone to send me what I need, the warranty is basically useless, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, or whatever it is. So definitely when it comes to support and service, the Minn Kota is going to win out over the Motorguide. All right, so I don't think it's going to come as a shock if you listen to all these points, but you know, the Minn Kota wins for me. The final verdict is the Minn Kota wins. It's got the better features in my motor that I'm looking at. It's got a better price point, and it's also got better support around me. So for me, I'm going to go with the Minn Kota when I go ahead and put a trolling motor on the skiff for those reasons. Now, maybe the Motorguide is the best fit for you. Maybe when you go up in price, you know, they're going to be the Minn Kota and the Motorguide are just, you know, more comparable in price, but I can't go wrong. I feel like going with the Minn Kota. So my next plan is going to be go ahead and do an install video on the Minn Kota. So drop a comment below if you want me to show you that on my maritime skiff of how I wire everything up, how I install it and all that kind of stuff. So you can know how to install your trolling motor too. All right. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the next video.